Who are you?
My name is Antonio Gabrielli.
But why are you here?
I should explain something to you, Miss McCulloch. You're about to be charged with murder. And this is Italy, I'm afraid, where you're presumed guilty until you're proved innocent. If you're found guilty, you'll spend 20 years in a maximum security prison. Do you have any idea what that means?
This doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand. I came here as a nanny. And now I'm in prison, and you're telling me that I'm going to be here for 20 years. I didn't start those fires. I don't understand.
I think it would be better for you if you contacted your family.
I haven't seen my father since I was 11. I don't know where he is.
And your mother?
She's dead.
And there's no one else?
No. What's going to happen to me now?
I'm a defense lawyer. If you would like me to represent you, I'm willing to do so. Think about it. Tell Councillor Flores when you've made your decision.
I don't need to think about it. Yes. Please.
So I'll send all the papers round tomorrow morning, then?
I'd rather send a courier around now, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Find anything?
I've only been here an hour.
And?
And nothing. Except the fire came from several sources and moved around the room in a pretty funny way.
What do you mean, funny?
Funny, peculiar.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Just wait for the report, will you?
Are you all right?
There's this place. Can we go now, please?
Sure. I'm going to stay here, have a look around. What did you do then, Dr. Bassett?
I looked at the way in which the fire had burnt the mattress.
And what did you conclude?
Whatever caused the fire, it wasn't petrol. It wasn't like anything else that I've ever come across. The damage to the material was caused by a source of intense heat, but not by flame. It's as if someone had left a very hot iron on it for some considerable time. And the other odd thing was that the mattress is composed mainly of two materials, horsehair and wool, and yet horsehair is much more inflammable than wool. And yet they both burnt at the same rate and in the same way.
Can you explain that?
No. And the other thing I can't explain is that the fire moved from the surface in a downward direction.
Can you find any explanation as to how the fire on this mattress started?
No.
Isabella, look at this.
I've asked the prison governor to make sure the guards keep an eye on you. Try and be patient.
I'm scared.
I know. A new judge has been appointed to try your case. I'm going to see him tomorrow. We should have a trial date very soon.
And what do I do until then?
Until then, you cope. And this one quotes Claudio Cenci's grandmother. Pictures of the Madonna would rotate and fall off the wall when she came near. Milk would boil when she stood next to it. And when she walked past the electricity meter, it would start to spin, for God's sake.
The state is not accusing Julie McGallagher of
You
witchcraft.
saw the mob outside. There is no possibility of a fair trial, which is why I'm making a formal submission, Your Honour, that this trial be abandoned on the grounds of prejudice.
Oh, Your Honour, I reject this suggestion.
Please!
Mr. Gabrielli, I can tell you now that I will not stop the prosecution from proceeding.
But, Your Honour...
But nothing, Mr. Gabrielli. Juries are made up of ordinary, reasonable people, not witch hunters. The answer's no.
Well, then, if you won't abandon the trial, will you at least give me a firm date? This media hysteria is causing my client a great deal of distress.
I'm sorry, I need more time to review the evidence.
Well, in that case, I'd like to ask that the decision not to grant bail be revoked.
You are as tenacious as your adversaries, Mr. Gabrielli. The gentlemen of the press you so despise. I'm sorry, but I cannot revoke bail now. Councillor Flores.
Yes, Your Honour.
The deadline for delivery of final evidence from the prosecution to this office expired at 11 o'clock this morning.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Your Honour, and my apologies, but some new facts emerged just as we were about to send the evidence to you. I assure you that the file will be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow when the court opens.
The deadline for delivery of final evidence from the prosecution to this office expired at 11 o'clock this morning. If it happens again, there'll be trouble.
Yes, Your Honour.
Must be losing my touch.
I didn't realise it was going to turn into this mayhem.
I don't think Padovani believed you about the late evidence.
Actually, something did come to light.
What?
Look, I was going to give you this in a couple of days. I just wanted to think about what it meant.
Why the bush is not burned.
And the next one?
A great and strong wind rent the mountains, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice.
Do you recognize those passages?
They're from the Bible.
And do the words mean anything special to you?
No.
Then why did you underline them in your own Bible?
I didn't. Maybe it was like that when I got it.
Do you have a fascination with fire, Julie?
No.
Well, it just happens around you a lot.
I did not set fire to the house. It had nothing to do with me.
Dr. Matteo?
Mr. Gabrielli,
Yes.
come in. You're late.
I know, I'm sorry. It's a long time since I've been to this part of town. I'm afraid I got lost.
Sit down.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I don't have much time. I'm due out shortly.
Right, well, Professor Ferrara says you're one of the best psychiatrists in the country.
Well, that's very kind.
And juries are human. So an independent, sympathetic psychiatric assessment, it might be useful.
I have looked at Julie McCulloch's case. Do you believe your client is mad?
Mad? I thought psychiatrists didn't use words like that.
We don't. But I know a lot of mad people.
Well, are you interested in adding to your collection?
Then you do believe she is mad.
That's not what I meant.
Madness is in the eye of the beholder. As a psychiatrist of many years' standing, I have found that a certain amount of discretion is always advisable. Why are you looking at me like that, Mr. Gabrielli? Do you find me attractive?
No.